Um, I honestly don't know why I'm making this video. I haven't done anything with social media for quite some time, with the exception of maybe a little bit of Facebook, things like that. But my name is Corey, and I've been contemplating suicide for the past 24 hours. And I don't even know if I'm going to post this or what I'll do with it. Maybe I just need to talk it out to myself or not. But I figured I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos of reasons not to take my own life, and I realized that there's a lot of those that are after those attempts, or after people have gone through it, or someone of their loved ones has committed suicide or something to that effect. But maybe it was the algorithm, but I didn't see anything of someone in an active moment, and I thought, okay, well, it's not much more active than how I feel right now, so maybe I'll make a video and see if I do anything with it. I don't know. But if I do post this and you're watching this, and anything that I'm saying is starting to really strongly get to you, I strongly encourage you to either reach out to anyone, or to watch some videos of people trying to convince others not to take their own life. It has been immensely helpful for me right now. And I guess how I got here was, it's a long story, but long story short, my wife left me a few months back. She took our kids. The entirety of this situation, though, is my fault. I don't blame her in the least for anything, any of this, any of my own depression, any of my own thoughts, because it's not her fault. She was doing what she needed to do to protect herself, and though there was no violence or anything like that, I was far from a perfect husband, and I maintain that I've put myself in this situation, which probably makes it far worse. Because truthfully, I have. And so as I continue on in this story, I ask you and I beg you to not put any sort of responsibility or anything like that upon my wife or upon her decision, because it's not at all. This is my decision. This has been my decision. These have been my struggles. She is not at fault, and so again, just please don't put her under a microscope or anything like that. I don't think anybody that I know will ever see this, or if they do, they know who my wife is, but I don't know. So long. So this is really hard, because a lot of videos that I've seen and a lot of things that are talked about, they tend to be very much focused on the next day. That there's a new day tomorrow, or don't kill yourself today. Just wait till tomorrow, and then when tomorrow comes, wait till tomorrow. But I think I've kind of reached a low point where I've come to the realization that, well, tomorrow's going to be the same. So though people can say it's temporary, or people can say wait till tomorrow, or just don't do anything right now, whatever, it's, you know what, tomorrow's going to be the same. it's going to be just as hard. I mean, honestly, I've lost, they talk about the signs of depression, and I've looked up a fair amount of them in the past 24 hours to understand. I wanted to know where I was in my state of these suicidal thoughts, and I realized that I definitely think I am in an active state, meaning that if you look at it, there's a passive thoughts and there's active thoughts, and I think I've pushed over into the active thoughts. Sorry, I go all over the place as well. I do have some pretty intense ADHD, and it's really hard for me to keep a string of thought, and it means that I talk probably far more than I should. I reveal far more than I should, and beyond that, it's hard for me to maintain that stream. So I might jump all over the place, and I'm sorry if that's hard to kind of stomach or understand things, but that's honestly just who I am. It's I don't even know where I was, but it's really hard. So my wife left me a few months ago. It was a shock. I didn't see it coming. I got a note when I got home one day, and that note just basically said, "I'm taking time for myself. I don't want you to contact me." So I have, for the very most part, obliged in that. I have not texted her since that day. That was in February, and there's been ups and downs and ups and downs and ups and downs. I think it's been far more downs than ups, but I'm pretty good at finding ways to numb, and I'm pretty good at finding ways to distract myself from the reality that is, and therefore, I've been able to get through it. I am a follower of Christ as well, and quite honestly, that has been a driving force in getting me through anything and everything that I have been. The hope that I've held on to has been only because of that, and I've had some support in the church and things like that during all this time. But I heard back from a question that I'd asked my wife via email. Yesterday, I saw her response, which is one of the reasons everything of this sparked, obviously. And that was, I was strongly holding on to the hope that she was coming back in September. And right now it's July. It's been about 5 months since she left, almost to the day. So she was, my impression, my understanding, was that she was coming back in September. And I haven't been able to talk to her. She hasn't been willing to meet with me. So, and all that. She emailed and responded and essentially said, well, once where she is at right now is concluded, she is currently looking for more permanent housing. And so that sparked and spiraled into what I am now. I mean, I'm a broken man. I've always been a broken man. I struggle with many things. Self-hatred being among one of the top pieces, as well as anything that numbs me, whether it be food or porn or anything else. Thankfully, I've kept my life away from alcohol and drugs. Probably one of the few things that's keeping me going is I don't have those to run to. But at the same time, it doesn't matter because, I mean, I think it's hard to put into words, but I think the ways that I've found to numb have been just as damaging, because it's any drug, whatever you want to call it. It's a way to not feel, or it's a way to completely forget, repress in a way, which is, I think, what I've been doing a lot over the past few months, is just I've held on to this hope that she was coming back in September. And so now she is not, and it's the same situation where she is not willing to talk to me or meet with me, and the difficulty that comes with that, and I guess the full purpose of this video, what I'm going to get into, is just that I feel like I am the worst best case scenario. Meaning that, well, in this case, actually, I'm not really worst best case. I'm just a crap. I'm in a crap scenario. I feel so stuck and so beyond any sort of ability to get out of it, that it's just like, this is one of those things where they talk about with suicide of, it feels like the only way out. Like, it's the only place that you can go. It's the only way to get out of a situation, or out of what you're feeling and whatever. And I that is exactly how I'm feeling. And why I'm doing this, why I'm saying this, is because maybe that's how you're feeling too, because I've never even heard of a situation near what I'm going through right now, and I feel so beyond lonely, so beyond any sort of coping, because I feel like no one in the history has gone through this. And so maybe there's someone out there that's feeling like this. Maybe there's someone, in the small chance that there's someone, I pray not, but that there's someone whose spouse has left them and doesn't want to talk to them, and they're stuck in this pit that they don't know how to get out of, and they just don't know where to go, and because of it, they're feeling the same way, and they just feel like nobody can empathize, no one can truly understand. And maybe there's that person out there, and maybe now they don't have to feel so alone like I feel right now. It's really hard, I think, specifically being a Christian in this. And it's almost not fair, because I get it. My wife doesn't want to forgive me. She doesn't want to let the things go. She doesn't, and truthfully speaking, I maybe this is my self-hatred talking, but I don't deserve the forgiveness. And I know, and I'm a smart guy. Okay, I have ADHD, but I'm a smart guy. I've learned a lot of different things, but I know, and I am quite logical when I really think about things, and I understand that being a Christian, having a relationship with Christ, is something that I should be able to hold on to. Something that I should be able to not let go of. And maybe my faith was not as strong as I thought it was, though I've been encouraged in my faith over the past 5 months, but severely discouraged over the past 24 hours. And I've struggled with depression before. I've struggled with suicidal thoughts back when I was in my youth. But I also don't think men talk about it very often. I think men, it's a stereotype, but it's true, that it's hard to reveal feelings. It's hard to speak realities. It's hard to talk about things that make us vulnerable. It's hard for me to reach out to someone. And full disclosure, I've really struggled this past 24 hours. I have not reached out to a suicide hotline. I don't know if I should have at this point. Obviously, I'm still here. But I have reached out to one particular individual, and I just sent a text and said, hey, I'm contemplating suicide. I'm struggling with these thoughts. Please pray. And they said, done. Praying right now. I'm 33. I have 2 kids. They're younger. And my age at this point, it's hard. My mind is so much against me right now because it just keeps fighting me and saying that, like, all of my friends, they have lives. They have lives. My therapist has a life. He's away this week. My other person that I'm speaking with at the church, they're away this week. My other friends, like, they all have kids. They all have families. They all have lives. And it's so hard because all I want to do is have someone beside me to help me. Or not to help me, but to listen to me. But I can't ask that because they have lives. I don't want to be a burden to them. And I know how stupid that sounds. I know how ridiculous that sounds because that's, like, especially my therapist, like, that's who, like, that's he's here to help me. My friends, they're not, like, they may not feel like I'm a burden, but I'm gonna be if I reach out because, again, they have lives. They have lives, and one of the few things, the only things that have kept me going. I mean, I've been watching these YouTube videos, and it actually has been helpful of seeing people talk about their suicidal attempts or the amazing recovery stories after, but also just hearing the stories of people that have gone through it from someone they've lost because of that. And that's the part to me that's so freaking unfair. And I'm on it. I can't say it any other way. It is completely unfair, and it's stupid. It's stupid because it's the only thing that's keeping me going. Is the fact that I know that if I do something, if I take my own life, then the ripple effects are going to be staggering. And it's ridiculous because I'm at a place where there's this pain in me. There's this inconsolable pain that I can't stomach, that I can't cope with. But at the same time, I'm not able to get rid of it. There's no way that I can get rid of it. And here's kind of the nitty gritty, and this is where it gets raw, is all I want to do is get rid of it. I want to keep indulging these thoughts because I want to build up the courage to do something stupid, because I want this pain to end. Because I want to be done. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be living. I don't want this pain. I can't handle this pain, but I don't get to end my life because I have kids. Because I have a family. I have a wife. Well, I mean, it's hard because I don't have a family right now, but I do. But I mean, if I were to off myself, then I don't. Even if my wife doesn't want to get back together or anything like that, it's still going to wreck her even more for the rest of her life. And that's the reality of how unfair I feel this is right now. And it's not because of my wife, it's not because of my kids, it's because of reality that taking my life will affect everyone that I know. I'm in a job that's quite social, so they're going to be affected. I'm in a church. I have friends. I have my mother, my father. I don't. It's not fair because I want to do this, but I can't. And maybe this is the time that I should reach out to someone. And it probably is, but you know what? It's a time where I don't know how to reach out to someone because people have families. People have things in their lives. my therapist is on vacation, and I don't want to send him an email because as soon as suicide is mentioned, I'm certain some kind of legal aspect comes to him because I've reached out to him. Same thing with people in the church. As soon as I mention that, there becomes a matter of, well, I'm now at risk to hurt myself, so therefore they have to act. In my mind, it fights and it fights and it fights and it fights because I've done this to myself. And that's the worst part of it. And that's where, they say, or I've heard them say multiple times, it's a permanent solution to a temporary problem, which I'm sorry, but that phrasing is stupid to me in two different ways. First of all, would you not want that? If you're having a temporary problem, or any problem for that matter, would you not want to find a permanent solution to it? Why would you want a temporary solution to a temporary problem? That's stupid. You want a permanent solution to a problem. Why would you want a problem that is only solved for a matter of time? You want a permanent solution. That's the first reason why that's stupid. And the second reason it's stupid is because it's not true. It's not true. This is not a temporary problem. And people that have struggled with mental illness or depression, they can vouch for that. It's not a temporary problem. It's an everyday problem. Tomorrow's going to be the same as today. The next day is going to be the same as today. And it's going to take so much time, and it's not worth that time. And there's going to be, every single day, I feel like for 5 months, I have been crying at one point or another. Whether that's at work, whether that's even on the bus, at home, at church, on a walk. I struggle. Even my daughter noticed I was crying in church the other day, and it's like, wow, I can't tell her. I can't say, well, I miss Mom. I wish she would come home. I wish we could talk. I can't say these things. I can't do these things. What am I supposed to do with them? Like I've done this to myself. I've done this. I made the mistakes. I made the mess. I can deal with it. But then I can't deal with it, can I? Because to deal with it, it's like there's this, no, that's a completely different thing. I don't know how to explain or even help anybody understand, because maybe they will, maybe they won't, but if I can't relay it myself, then how can someone else understand it? Because obviously I don't. Like I did this. I've caused irreparable pain to someone that I can't cope with. And so that irreparable pain is something that I need to deal with for the rest of my life. Even more so if my wife is not willing to reconcile. And that's her choice. Whether or not I agree with it doesn't matter. She is not at fault for her choice. That's her choice. It doesn't matter. And again, I'm going to emphasize, this is not on her. This is on me. I've caused these problems. She deserves, these are the thoughts. Like, she deserves more than me. This is a lifelong thing that I have to deal with. But the lifelong thing that I'm having to deal with is just years of being a poor husband. I've let her down in so many different ways. I've let her down so significantly to the point where I took this amazing, truly wonderful woman, and I've put her to a place where she doesn't even want to be around me, where she won't even bring the kids to the door. She says goodbye at the car, and I say goodbye at the door as they walk to the car. I did that to her, and that's a reality, and that's what I have to cope with, and so if I don't cope with that, then the alternative is killing myself. But then that causes her more pain, and that causes my kids more pain, and I can't tell you how many things I've looked at, or how many videos I've watched of just hearing my dad killed himself or my son killed himself, and I think to myself, like, I can't put my daughter through that. I can't put my son through that. So I need to deal with this pain. But I can't deal with this pain. I don't know. Like I said, I talk far too much probably a lot of the time. But I don't know what else to do. Like, it's inconsolable. I'm not able to handle this anymore. I'm not able to cope. I don't want to reach out to anyone. I don't want to reach out. I think that's why I know this is serious. Because I don't want to reach out. I did, thankfully. But I don't want to talk to anyone. Like, I want to send a text, honestly, to someone and just say, hey, just so you know, I'm wanting to kill myself right now, but I don't want to talk about it. So just pray. But I can't put that burden on them. That's not fair. That's not fair to put that burden on them. And I'm in this place within the whole situation again that I've put myself here in one way or another, where I can't talk to my wife. She doesn't want me to, which means I can't fight for my marriage because I can't actually be around her and actually work through any of this stuff. The church that I was going through with my family at that time, that they support this, which that's a whole other thing that I don't need to get into, but they support this decision she's made, and I can't deal with this. Like, it was another thought that I've had of just like what's raw again of what, like, and I'm not able to handle it. Like, it's not that I'm holding on to resentment. It's not that I want to hurt them. It's that I've made so many mistakes in my life that going forward, I'm going to make more mistakes. And so I want to rid those around me of the mistakes I might make in the future by killing myself now. Because I'm fucked up. Sorry for the language. I am. I'm a broken person. I make mistakes. I can't figure out who I am. And yes, I have a relationship with Jesus, and that has been deeply helpful, but at the same time, it's, I don't know. It's just, it's at this point where it's, I don't know how I'm not going to get philosophical or theological or spiritual or anything, but it's at the point I just don't feel them anymore. That's it. That's all I'll say about that. But it's I don't want to reach out. I'm going to fight to a point, but no, I'm not, because I don't want to fight anymore. I fought for 5 months. I fought. And when I say fight, I don't mean like anything small. I mean, like, I've been on my knees. I've been in tears. I've been gut-wrenchingly pained. I've been trying to do anything and everything that I can to get through this, and now it's at a point where there's nowhere else to go. There's no more strength left. I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm tired of fighting. I'm so tired of beating against whatever it is that whatever this wall, whatever I'm dealing with on that day, this thought of hating myself or of not wanting. I don't know. I don't even know if I can edit that. I kind of want to, but I'm not. I'm a smart guy. I'm very computer savvy, but when it comes to video editing or anything like that, nothing. Like, this is the first video I think I've ever made, aside from taking random videos of my kids. So I mean, it's whatever it is, what it is. But I don't know where this is gonna go. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I just feel like I need to talk it out, whether that be with myself or the internet in a weird way. I think this is something that it's almost better for me to say it out loud right now, because I've cried so much this evening. I probably dehydrated myself that I can't. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. But I think men don't have the strength to speak up about mental health when it's happening, and so we wait until it's more convenient, which is exactly what I'm doing, because I'm not speaking up about this to friends, family, or people because it's inconvenient to bring it up to them. I don't want to inconvenience them or their lives or bring them away from their family because of me. But then at the same time, there's a Jordan Peterson said, and this has kept me going as well. There's a quote he said that basically it was, don't underestimate the hole that your absence would leave. And that's really kept me going. And sorry, that's my cat meowing in the background. She woke up. So yeah, I didn't want to wait until some of these feelings subsided, or after I've numbed them or whatever, because then they're not real, they're not raw. Then I'm holding out on them. But this moment, like an hour before I made this video, was, I'm thinking about, well, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna write notes? Got to figure out something, because insurance doesn't, like, life insurance doesn't work, of course, if you're committing suicide. So I got to figure out something with money for my family. And again, these are like legitimate thoughts that I was having. But if I wait, I'm gonna prepare when I'm gonna talk to someone. You know what I mean? I'm gonna prepare what I'm gonna say, so it might sound authentic, but it's certainly not my lowest. And like I said, an hour ago, this past 24 hours has been my lowest. And I hope and I pray that I can look back on this video, posted or unposted, whatever. I might actually post it, but I might look back on this video in a few years and say, you know what, that was my lowest, but I made it. I really hope and pray that I can do that, and that this doesn't become like an unfortunate memory or memoir, something that they play at my funeral or something stupid, like I don't want to, I want to do something stupid, honestly, but I can't because I have a family, and I can't put them through that. And honestly, it's so selfish to think what I'm thinking, and it is selfish. And that's okay, because I'm sure many, many, many people have thought the same thing, and that is, well, my life isn't worth living, but the absence of my life is not worth me not living. Meaning, those that I'm leaving behind if I do kill myself, the damage done, irreparably so, and sickeningly so, I can't take that back, because it is a permanent thing. Regardless of the saying, I don't care, I don't whatever, but it is permanent. And I don't know what else to to say. You can probably see now my ADHD, because I don't know when to stop talking, and I just want to keep talking, and hopefully this is gonna reach someone, maybe, that might be struggling with it, or might want to see someone in an actual, like, raw moment. It's maybe not quite as raw as an hour ago, because like I said, I've cried out probably everything that I've had, but I'm panic attacks, and last night, when I got the email, and kind of it barely sank in. Probably still, I probably won't let it sink in right now. That my wife wasn't coming back in September, and that she's looking for something permanent. I just started having a panic attack, or I paced around the house, and with a knot in my stomach, and I just wanted to vomit. I just wanted to, but I couldn't, and so I just cried on my daughter's bed, and then I got up, and then I started pacing again, and then these suicidal thoughts came in. I don't think it's gotten to the point of, if I had, I've had imaginations of doing it, but if I had an easy way of doing it, taking pills or whatever, I don't know I don't have that in the house, but if I did, I don't know what I would do. But at this point, if I come to a point where I'm genuinely scared, I hope, and I think I would call either the suicide line or 911 or somewhere, get myself safe, or even if someone. But either way, that's where I'm like, I want to find the courage, as stupid as this sounds, I want to find the courage to keep going further down until I find the ability to kill myself. And I don't know how else to say that. I don't know how else to be raw about it. I did send an email to someone from my church, and just someone that I trust, that once they do see it, they're on vacation, but maybe, I said, don't look at this until after your vacation. Maybe they'll look at it, but whatever. But I'm sure I am going to talk to people to try and get better. So if you are worried about me doing something, you might be justifiably so, but I'm not. I hope and pray I won't before I talk to someone really about this, not just my phone. Though, I mean, it's something, I guess. But I pray you're okay, whoever you are watching this. Maybe I'll post an update in a few days. Maybe this will become a thing. I don't know. Just know if you are considering, you are not alone. And when I say that, it's not that others say it empty, but you are genuinely not alone. Because I'm not speaking from I tried something 2 or 3 years ago. Not that there's not value in that, not that those people are not wonderful for speaking and for saying what they went through, but this is happening now, and this is a struggle now. So maybe it's helpful to see that you're not alone. I don't know. God bless you. Take care.